One, two, three. Hey everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. Thanks for joining me. This week's featured lesson is 10 licks in the key of C. Last week I did a lesson much like this, 10 licks in the key of G. It went over really well, and I want to start doing more of these kind of concept lessons or lessons about, learning a handful of licks and inserting them into your solos, into your playing. So what I'm going to do for this lesson, I'm going to break down all 10 licks, of course, note for note. And then I'm also going to have a separate video clip about how I'm going to insert these in common chord progressions, how to combine some of the licks, kind of practice them right, what chords they might sound better over, the 1 chord, the 4 chord. So we're going to go a little bit in depth just about how to use them as well. Okay, so if you'd like to purchase the full-length version, you can click the link below and it'll shoot you on my site. It'll come with about 40 minutes of video, PDF tabs, and 3 backing tracks. And what I'm going to do for those backing tracks really is just play a C chord for an extended period of time, and you're just going to get a chance to play those licks over and over top of 1 chord so you can really master them. You don't have to think about the changes. And then again, it's about the separate clip as well, talking in depth about how to use them. So that's what I'm going to do for this lesson. If you'd like to learn about being a premier member at the site, should be another link down there. And for a yearly or monthly fee, you can access this lesson and over 350 video lessons at the site. I've got 3 courses and a video exchange program. You can submit videos to me for critique. Give that a look if you are interested. For now, we're going to start walking through this lesson, 10 licks in the key of C. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's go ahead and start breaking down 10 licks for the key of C here. Again, in this video clip, I'm just going to go through each and every lick, note for note. And then I'll have a separate clip as well discussing about how to place these licks into chord progressions, how to practice them correctly, how to also kind of combine licks maybe back to back, or kind of switch out measures, because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do, and you'll see some repetitive themes throughout these licks as well. All right, also markings on the bottom of the staff are pick directions, and any markings above the staff are left hand fingerings. Here's that first lick. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And it says lick number 1 says major pentatonic. So most of them I have marked kind of saying, hey, this is more of a major pentatonic or more of a minor thing, or the flatted 5th or flatted 3rd. So I kind of give you an idea of where I'm drawing them from so that you can kind of conceptualize where the licks, again, are coming from, or how I created them. So different ways you can kind of just finger the first little bit. You could use your pinky there on the 3rd fret for the very first note, or you could use your 3rd finger. Either one's totally going to work. If I'm in the C chord, grabbing that with my pinky totally makes sense because it's free. At the same time, if I'm going to get into a solo and I feel comfortable, I have time, I might get there with my 3rd finger. Both are good options and totally fine. So 3 to 5 slide. Okay, it's 2/8 notes there, 1 and then high string 3rd fret, quarter note, and back to the 5th fret, B. Okay, so pretty easy measure right there. And I'm kind of staccatoing. If you don't know what that means, it just means short and detached. I'm kind of doing that for the 2 notes on the 3rd fret high E there, just to kind of give it a little separation, give it a little phrasing. And more really just the 3rd note of that measure, that first one. Okay, just to give a little separation. 1 and 2, 3, 4, and then here we got next measure 3/5 hammer, the B, high string 3rd fret, back to B on the 5th, and then right here high E on the 5th. So just roll that 3rd finger down, and if you use your pinky, do the same thing, but roll it over, then back to 3, and then 5 on the B. Slide it down to 3. We're shifting there. Okay. Ready, go. And then the next measure, 1st fret on the B, the quarter note there. Then 2nd fret G, quarter note. And then a little lick. I'll be using this a little bit throughout some of these other ones, but it's a really nice thing. It rings. Sounds real nice. Open G, and then 0-2 hammer on the D on an upstroke, and then another upstroke on the open G. And then we land on the bass note for C chord there, the 3rd fret on the A. It's a C note. You can play the whole C chord. And all the circle around it here means, around that last note of the line there, is it's a whole note. 4 counts. And, you know, I might strum, do whatever, but for the sake of making the measures look nice, I just had it as a whole note. But maybe you put in a measure of alternate strumming, or you continue on with the solo perhaps. There's another lick here down the line that might go well with it as well. So let me play, again, it's pretty much kind of a 4-measure lick, even though the 4th measure is a whole note, but let me play those 4 measures. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. There's lick number 1, major pentatonic. You know, how nice and connected can you get it, right? How when you go from note to note and it's just real connected, it kind of makes your playing swell up, so to speak, and that's what we're looking for. Yeah. So lick number 2. Got there. Let's throw that up on the screen. And I just wrote chromatic in here because it's really just a chromatic lick, and it's kind of a Doc Watson thing for sure. You hear him do it a lot. It's a fun little lick. It's only really a measure long. It's obviously chromatic. Chromatic mean you kind of go from, there's, you know, from half, they're all half steps. Pretty, not all, but when you say chromatic, it means to kind of go by intervals of half steps. So we got the third fret on the A string, the C note. So, and it starts right there, and then it right away continues. So 1, and then open E, 1st fret E, 2nd fret E, 3rd fret E, and then open A, 1st fret, 2nd fret, and then we're back to our C chord, 3rd fret on the A. And here I wrote out a little alternate strumming pattern here because I would probably do this kind of lick either at the very end of my solo or just as a little rhythm trick. So if you put those two measures on repeat, you know, talk about practicing these licks. That's how I would practice it. That's how I did practice it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay. Let's do it one more time real slow. Ready, go. Last time. Okay. Cool. There's lick number 2. Let's move on here. Lick number 3 says a mix of major pentatonic with the flatted third and the flatted seventh. So a lot of stuff. I'm just borrowing a lot of stuff here. Yeah, borrowing, just using all kinds of those scales. It's hard to really classify it, but we're using notes from all over. So kind of twisting and turning all over there. And many of these have a little bluesy tinge to them, no doubt about it. It's kind of that way in the key of C for us guitar players, that those licks, kind of those little bluesy tinged licks, sit real well. And again, I play a lot of Doc Watson stuff, so he's certainly influencing my playing and my licks. And there's some like kind of Steve Kaufman stuff I've learned throughout the years, kind of contest stuff that's just kind of infused in some of these licks. So, but that first measure there, lick number 3. So start on the low note, 3rd fret, then open A. I'm sorry, 3rd fret A, and then open D, and then a 1-2 hammer on the D. There's the flatted 3 to the normal 3, and then open G, and then 2nd fret G, 3rd fret G is a flatted 7, back to the 2nd fret. Sorry, you can kind of maybe do some hammer-ons or pull-offs in there. That 2-3-2 thing, but I chose to pick it in this instance. And you can use your pinky too if you'd like on the 3rd fret note of the G string, and then back to 2 on the G. Either one, 3rd or pinky, very interchangeable here. Okay, and then I'm gonna pull off, next measure, pull off to the downbeat, pull off, open G, lands on a downbeat, okay? And then the upstroke on the 2nd fret D, roll it over, 2nd fret G, open G, and then back to 2nd fret D, pull it off, and then 1-2 hammer on the D, and then landing, again, back home on the bass note, 3rd fret A, that's a C note again, 3rd fret A string equals a C note. So there gets a little twisty. I'm gonna play the whole thing slowly. Ready, go. And I'm swinging it pretty good right there. I'll do it without swinging as much. 3 and 4 and. I made most of these licks kind of that nice 2 measures, where on the downbeat of the 3rd measure you can get into some strumming or get into another lick. So I made a lot of these licks like that for that reason, so you can kind of get into another pattern or like strum, but kind of landing on the bass note and landing on a C note in this case. I'm kind of completing them really nice. So again, 3, 4 and. One more time. Ready, go. Two, three, 4. All right, and I want to make a note that if you're having trouble with this, you know, maybe you're beginner, advanced beginner, and you're trying to hang on to some of these licks here, and there's lots of pull-offs and hammer-ons, which means you have to be super particular about your pick direction in order to make things smooth. So if you're having troubles and you're stumbling, getting a little frustrated, take out all the hammer-ons and the slides and the pull-offs and put the correct pick direction in there. Again, down picks on downbeats, up picks on upbeats. Take all those hammer-ons, pull-offs out and just pick the whole thing, okay? That is step one. So if you're having troubles, step one, if you got to back up a little bit, take out all the cool little hammer-ons and slides and pull-offs, I know, but then you get the timing down and then you come back and you start inserting them. Because, you know, when you hammer on or pull off to a downbeat, it's a little trickier. It feels weird. So you want to make sure that you just have the timing and the notes first and then start to work in. Because if there's a bunch of them, then your timing's going to be all over the place and you're not even going to know if you get one of them right. So you can pick them all. Okay, and that totally works. And then when you get comfortable, just put in the first hammer on. You know, I did that a little wrong there at the end, sorry. But I think you get the idea, and I just want to make that note that if it's a little troublesome, be sure to back up a step and take those out. Okay, let's move on. Lick number 4. It says major. 1, 2, 3.